Thank you, Ajariga sir. Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to thank all the organizers for bringing in a farmer to speak in this very like August forum, where all the engineers and the scientists are there. And I'm going to give you a farmer's perspective of how Northeast relevant technologies for protected farming and capacity building we can have here. So I am farmer Samir Bordoloi. I love to call myself farmer, and I'm very proud to write farmer in front of my name, because I feel if a doctor and the engineers and everybody is so proud of writing DR, ER and professor in front of their name, why should I feel shy when I fit them all? So this is what my work is, how we can glamorize farming, how we can bring in more young people to farming, and how we can lead a very beautiful way of this profession, which is giving food to so many people, how we can just make it more lucrative, and how we can make it into a sustainable livelihood in this northeast part of the region. So I'm an Ashoka fellow, and I have been conferred with 5 national awards for whatever work I'm doing in this northeast region. My organization is called Spread Northeast, and that is Society for Promotion of Rural Economy and Agriculture Development in Northeast. What we have done is we have created a farm learning center, which is only 25 kilometers from Guwahati city, and 25 kilometers from Guwahati city in a place called Sonapur. And in a hillock, we have created a food forest. I will talk about my form of farming, which is very natural farming, and also I'll talk about what are the experiences of protected cultivation which we had in this region. So first, I will come with some challenges. One big challenge for us in the Northeast is the topographical challenges in the region, because this is a region of very topography. And we have got 55% of the green coverage of the whole country. So here we have to be very, when we think about doing farming, we have to think about how we maintain our topography, maintain our green ecology, and we do farming in that. And when I talk about protected cultivation, this is one challenge which we find in installing all the structures which we put in. So it has to be very area specific. Every area needs a very different model, where we have some hills, we have foothills, we have big paddy lands, and we have also submerged area where we have lots of wetland in this region. So it is in my 1.5 decade of farming, after I studied agriculture from Assam Agriculture University, and I left my job to become a farmer, I have found that there are so many challenges which we have to take. The next challenge, which is different climatic challenges. It has to be area-specific solutions needed. For example, my Meghalaya farmers and my Arunachal farmers in the cold areas, they have got this frost problem, which needs protected cultivation. But the structures which we develop, the big structures which we develop, when we install in our foothills and in our hills, the wind speed is so high that it gets damaged. So it is something which is very big challenge, where we have to look at, because every village or every hillock is a different story. So it is very important that we modify and we design something like that. And when we talk about big structure in this region, in my farm only, which we have created in Jorhat, we install a greenhouse, but the cost is very high. One greenhouse installation comes to around 12 to 15 lakhs rupees. Unavailability of the materials, if like I said, the wind speed is very strong. So if the UV film is destroyed, so it is very difficult to find. Cost is very high. And also we have to think about the profit, because if I am in a hill, my farm is in a hill, and can I come to the previous slide? Manojji, can I come to the previous slide? So what happens is, suppose we have installed a very big greenhouse in a hillock, and from this, if I get at least 100 kg of tomatoes in one harvest, and my village, my farm is so much away from Guwahati city, or my farmer's place is so much away from Guwahati city, so 100 kg from one greenhouse, sometimes the cost-benefit ratio is a question mark. When we talk about the peri-urban areas and in the urban areas, this kind of structure is good. But when I talk about Northeast region and installing these structures in very like remote areas, so we have to think about the cost-benefit ratio, which doesn't. Some farmers can afford it, but if they do it, so we have to think about how collaboratively we do it in a bigger way, so the production is more and we can transport more more frequently in bulk quantities. So this is how I feel there is a question mark when we have to think about high cost protective systems in this region. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Manoj, next slide.
Not moving there.
It's not moving.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm again.
So in the meantime, the size of my greenhouse is now 50 by 100.
Has it moved?
Not yet started. Let it start.
I think it is not visible for me. Yeah, yeah. So can you share it?
Is it okay now?
You
okay,
can
you go to the slide number 6.
Mode.
Go to the slide number 6. Previous, I think.
Previous one.
Previous one.
This one?
After that.
Yeah, next one. Next one.
Go very slowly next.
Yeah, yeah. The slideshow mode, sir.
Give size slow mode. Yes. I think
the previous one.
It is visible, Samir. Without slideshow mode also you could start.
Yeah, okay.
Manoj, you go to the previous slide. Before that.
This one?
Before that.
The previous one. I think
you forgot the slide slow mode. There is a problem in slide slow mode.
Okay, okay. Wait, 1 minute, please.
Okay. Can you go to slide number 6?
You just saw slide number 6. May not be necessary. You are not required to.
Okay. So the slide number 6 was also the form of.
This one?
Okay,
No.
okay. You keep it like this. Okay, I'll go like this. Okay. So the slide number 6, which I showed, is like how there is also a natural system, like without protected cultivation also we have so many regions where in the natural system also we are growing food. For example, I am treating food forest. So inside the forest with different height of plants and very native crops of the area, which are a very good product for the wellness food industry, which are low volume and high value crops, we are growing them on the shade of the forest and inside the forest, which naturally also grows. So there is also in many regions we have to, what I want to point out is where we need the protected cultivation and where we can go naturally without destroying the land and creating this whole environment friendly ecological farming system in the region is needed. Some of the changes which we have did, for example, the next slide which I was showing was that I talked about very high speed of wind. And also it's like every time of the year we don't need the protected cultivation in this region. For example, in the rainy season we need it. When it is frost we need it. And when like in the winters and all, when it is not so much cold and we are growing our vegetables, our local vegetables which we grow, which faces as a big, very good market in the whole international arena. I was talking about the low volume and high value nutraceutical crops. So those crops we don't need protected cultivation or in many regions, but in some regions we need. So it is very area specific also. When we plan, for example, which I want to point out as a farmer is, there are so many plastic houses which are given and so many government schemes like the technology mission or other kind of initiatives which has been taken. But many times we see that the farmer take the thing and after that it is left unused, or you will see most of them because of the high wind speed, the plastic has been torn out. So this is how we also have to make it very neat way. So it is very important that we see where actually it is needed. For example, this part I am showing. See, in protected cultivation, one thing which we are finding very profitable is the sale of the traditional or native food crop seedlings. So this, anytime we don't need the plastic. So what we do, next slide, please. Next slide. No, before that, sir. You were showing a slide with the bamboo raised beds. No, before that. Can you go back? Yeah, this is again slide number 6 coming. Here I am showing again. Keep it, sir. Keep the early one. Okay. Whatever is coming, I will just as because the slides which you are pointing us is not okay. So this you can change, sir.
Manoj, I think you have problem with slides slow, so more go to the normal without sorry, then it will be okay, I guess. You have problem with slides.
Let me try to share the screen. It is coming now, so let me try to do this.
Yeah, please do your turn.
Is it coming now?
Yes, coming.
Yeah. So let me do that.
But you take care of the time, Samir.
Yeah.
You have well. Yes, please.
I was talking about this where I was showing that naturally also, like this is paddy fields. We used to have lots of sun, and then most of the women farmers work. So what we do is we have developed a model where we are growing banana and black rice. Black rice is very costly, and then see the growth. It is coming naturally. So I was talking about how naturally also this is banana, and then we have a local brinjal crop which we grow together, and we have brought in drip irrigation system there. So now for the wind and everything which we have, the problem, so we have like these are all trials in the farmers. I'm talking about farmers perspective. I'm not a scientist or a researcher, but how we are adapting. So we have made raised bed, bio-intensive raised bed where we make compost and we raise the bed and we make small, over the bed only we have make small plastic houses and shade net houses where we grow the crop. The next picture you can see is like creepers. We give creeper, and most of the nutraceutical plants I am talking about are shade-loving plants, which gives us more money in the market also. We can grow them by making it a natural cover also. This slide, windy mountain. So one part of we produce seedlings here, but one part of the season we keep it open. And then we keep the size like that so that we have bamboo with us. Resources are available in the Northeast, in the farm level itself, so we can make the bamboo platforms, bamboo frame, and we can put the plastics. So this kind of plastic, if you see this house, you can see a bamboo tied into the end part of the plastic, wherein we can roll in the plastic and keep it like this, so that when we don't need it, we just remove it. This is, there are lots of low-lying areas I talked about. So low-lying areas, when we raise the bed inside the poly houses and we make into bio-intensive raised beds, then this water which is flooding is becoming a prospect for us. So we are also irrigating. So these are, again, we have developed in the farm some concrete structures also in the low-lying areas, and we have put the plastic above. Here we have made another frame in between where we put the creepers. So there is a relay crop. So we have coriander first, we get price from there. Then we give a relay crop which will creep here, and then again we have more crops. So it is high density planting how we do inside. Again in between also we put tomatoes, below coriander, and above we can put creepers. So it is like in the small areas, because in hills we cannot have big plastic houses. So we can have small area, but we can make into high density planting. This is the Jorat farm where we tried to develop into a very big farm with protected cultivation. But when we went with the exotic crops like lettuce, even I brought some tulip bulbs from New Zealand. We made tulip also flower here, lettuce, celery, and we are growing. But exotic crops inside and the quantity we get is not profitable. So going for Polygonum sinensis, a very local medicinal herb, which we grow inside the poly houses. So I just want to emphasize the selection of the crop. Nutraceutical is important. Now again, growing azolla inside that. With that we grow azolla, and with the azolla we are also doing hydroponics of high coriander now. We started with lettuce, which is exotic. We have to buy the seeds, very costly. And I am working for the farmers where we see where farmers are self-reliant. The dream of the Prime Minister of India, Atmanirbharshil, and how we also talk about vocal for local. So now we are doing hydroponics of Thai corianders. So these are the low-lying areas where we again see what I found is we grow lots of king chilies here, and in the king chilies, when we put the plastic very top, like how it is how we are trained on the plastic houses. So we found that the disease and the viral attack is more. But when we lower down the plastic houses, we saw, these are all our observations, and then we did some trials where we find that the disease incidence is less. What is profitable is production of local crops of nutraceutical plants and microgreens. Microgreens in protected cultivation, we can transport it, these are all low volume and high value crops. So I'm talking about low volume and high value crops, seedlings of king chilies to seedlings of all kind of nutraceutical plants, creating food forest. Inside the forest, we create food. The form of farming, after doing all kind of like all protected cultivation, all kind of modern technologies which we do. But in this region, which I have started doing now, is called compassionate farming, where we just make seed bombs, we grow with the forest, we make the forest with the food crops of all native crops. So growing food with the forest is what we are doing now. We have created a very big food forest. I know that seed is my freedom as a farmer. When I lose my ability to keep my seeds for the next year, I lose my freedom. I am dependent on some corporates to give me very high cost seeds. And these local seeds, from chilies to everything we have, this is a market identity in the $500 billion now wellness food industry. So we can export. We are exporting also now to different countries where we get market for this low volume and high value crops. No rocket science. We just make seed bombs and throw it in the hills, and they grow like this, and we get the food. So this is how I train the young people of Northeast, bring them into my farm learning center and make them into green commandos. I'll talk about that. And all the youths, I involve them, and then we just plant the things inside. So there is, you see, we have Indian coffee plum tree, we have bamboo, and then out of this all, we get some products out. Like for example, from the bamboo leaf, we get bamboo leaf tea, which sells at 5,000 rupees a kg, very low volume, very high price. So we have to think about where we spend the money. At the end, whatever you will be teaching me, I as a farmer need my profit. So I have to see whether I take nature as my capital or I take the bank as my capital. So what we prefer is taking nature as capital. And when we grow inside the forest, and what the compassionate farming model is giving us is that production is so good that we share, because there are lots of animals. Now in my farm, when I started planting yams and local crops inside my forest, first I found the wild boars coming. When we started planting the bananas, we have wild elephants coming. Elephants eat the bananas and the banana leaves, but we make into vermicompost and we sell vermicompost. And the banana inflorescence is a very big, we just dry it and just we process it and we export it into a wellness food product. So this is a model where we are thinking about how we coexist. When you think about Northeast, you have to think about the 55% green coverage of Northeast and how we don't destroy and how we incorporate the technologies very nicely so that it is not destroyed. So this model which I am doing, now there are lots of organizations coming from all over the world studying it. So I have got Frankfurt University from Germany also doing a research on both my food forest model and also the protective cultivation which we are doing and which is suitable way. So we are finding out these results and we are getting lots of support from all over the world. And also many Indian organizations like IIT Kharagpur is coming up to do a study on the economic benefit of the all food forest and natural and everything which we are doing. So this is a very like 30 acres of land, but we have created into a Spread Farm Learning Center, and where I bring youths, they pay 4,000 rupees for 3 days farm camping in the food forest, and this has to be taken by some. See, farming has to be made glamorized. I say I feel proud to write farmer in front of my name. So young people has to come in. So what we do is we do farm camping. So we have tent area, we put tents there, camping zone. Students from every sphere, rural and urban sphere, come there. We have like the army is trained, like our Prime Minister, ex-Prime Minister told Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. So we train them like army, and we call them green commandos. So they go back, they adopt the community, they adopt a village, they link the farmers and lead a market-led extension. So these are batch by batch, we put them into tents and we have bamboo structure. The whole classroom is built as a biosphere where the biosphere teaches the students. Life skills are something which is very important we incorporate. it's not only making plastic houses and making raised bed. We need lots of compost to be made, lots of many inputs to be made. So we see how we are self-reliant as farmer. I've been working through the Green Commandos in 150 schools in Northeast, where as an activity-based learning model, we just give it to the kids, and then we introduce the whole system. So this is in Manipur, in a very remote area, where we have made the nutrition garden. Again, the frost problem. So we made a beautiful structure with bamboo and ultraviolet 200 micron film and shade net. So windy also. So we just reduce the height, and we make it a beautiful school nutrition garden where all the students come and they learn. It's not only, it's a market-led extension where we go to the urban people and ask them to just befriend a farmer for your food. So we do home-to-home delivery of the local food. We have started in Guwahati city, and then the peri-urban villages we are developing, and we link them. I'll just give you an example of that food forest. For example, this is rosal, Hibiscus subderifa, which we grow like this. If you see the top picture, women farmers grow it like food forest in the whole mountain, and then they just dry it and pack it, just cut it and dry it and pack it into a herbal tea, which sells at Hanserong is the local name, we have branded it. Now it sells at 50 grams for 200 rupees, that is 3,000 rupees a kg. So where is the profit? Just to make a plastic house there and get some cherry tomatoes or capsicums and take it to the local market, or I target the wellness food industry, which is more than $500 billion. Bamboo. Inside the bamboo, under the bamboo, we grow king chilies and other chilies, and again the bamboo leaf tea, we make it to this kind of pack, and it sells at 5,000 rupees a kg in the market. The turmeric, we have turmeric with high curcumin percentage. So this grows and we sell it at a very high value and low volume products. We have to increase the farmers, like we have to think about, okay, how we increase the income of the farmer. So farm tourism, when we make those farms, the farms become beautiful, and we add farm tourism as a service. Protected cultivation, this is my Jorat farm where lots of people, like for example, the pathway, now I have put a micro irrigation system, we have focus there. So the visitors come to the farm and we just make them, if it is not raining also, we say them, okay, walk in the rain. This also supports irrigation. We recycle the water, rainwater. So this way we have to increase the farmers. So community fish festival, the culture, agri plus culture is agriculture, soil and culture. So we have to keep all the young people of Northeast into the soil so that the culture don't disintegrate. And in a world when it is going very fast and people want to unrest, people pay 2,000 to 2,500 rupees to stay in our villages and our farm area in the camps to just check the pace of their life. So that way we can develop the income of the farmer rather than giving them very genetically modified or very high cost technology, which the farmer, at least farmer like me, get dependent on the bank and we get indebted. So whenever we talk about Northeast, we have to talk about the happiness index. We have to talk about how we don't create our needs into our greeds. And we know the circumference of development, and we keep nature as the main stakeholder in this whole process. So welcome to Spredani Farm Learning Center, Sonapur. This is a place where we train the Green Commandos. You can also, I invite you all, whenever you have your plan to come to Northeast, just 25 kilometers from Guwahati, 30 to 35 kilometers from Guwahati airport, come to this farm and then just see how
Thank you very much. Samir, really it is I congratulate you. Really, it's a very inspiring and then also very entertaining or enjoying.